Hello humans, and welcome to another episode of Gen X Gamer Being Locked In. Man, let me take you back in the day. Back in the day of the arcades, but I'm going to take you back to the inner city. You know, when I see a lot of videos, when I hear a lot of stories out there on YouTube, and they're mostly, you know, middle class people that tell their stories of Christmases, you know, fun time, nostalgia, saving money, mowing the lawn. Well, you know, in the inner cities, it's a little bit different. So let me give you my experience way back in the day. Now, my friends and I were a couple of years apart. I was a little bit younger. They were a little bit older. They were already in high school, and I was about going to high school, right? And there was this burger joint. And I'm not going to use the exact names because, of course, it's the internet, but many people will be able to relate to some of these stories that I'm about to tell. You know, in the inner cities, we didn't have a lot of arcades because, you know, there were few and far between, number one. And when you did have some, they were the dens of a lot of illicit activities. Let's just say that, right? So you really had to be careful when you were going there. But one of the places you would go and play video games all the time would be your local burger joint. Every burger joint had one or two arcade machines. Our favorite burger joint only had one. Right, they had room for one. Everything else was, you know, filled with tables. And it was, I want to say this was late 1983. Okay, and my friends and I, we all had to work as youngsters. You know, I'm talking about, you know, being, you know, 13, 14 years old, already having a job because we had to. You know, I worked selling donuts. And it was in the morning, it was donuts. In the afternoon, it was, pizza and sandwiches. Right? And I'd be there all day on Saturdays. You know, and of course, I was in a legal age to work. My friends weren't either, even though they were a little bit older. You know, they worked in a dairy, right? And once in a while, we would have a day off and we'd go to our favorite burger joint, man. And we were locked in. Let me describe this place to you. It had Moon Patrol, right? A game we were just rocking at the time, man. It was just on. In the background, we had rock music. You were, you know, big Van Halen fans. I have a Van Halen tattoo, right? That's how big of a fan I am of Van Halen. And we would sit there and play, you know, Saturday about lunchtime, right? And these burger joints, they'd be busy during the week, but on the weekends they're a little bit slower, you know, until nighttime. And this particular joint was in the corner about a block and a half away from both of us. And we would just go there and meet. And man, we felt locked in, man. That was the very first time I felt locked into a video game where life was right. You know, we didn't know we were having hard lives, right? To us, our life was normal. To us, you know, we were doing what, you know, everybody else pretty much did in the neighborhood. Any kid that, you know, had a middle class upbringing, we just thought they were rich. That we just say, oh, these guys are rich, right? And they weren't really rich. They were just middle class. They just didn't have. They were not as poor as us, right? That's really what it came to. They weren't from single family home, so. We would get there, man, and life just felt right. Let me describe this place to you. The smell of hamburgers in the air, right? The smell of hamburgers in the air. We'd be there on our day off or time off, what have you. We would be having quarters, and you know how you used to stack quarters up there? We'd have like $10 worth of quarters in there. Nobody else was going to play this game but us for the next couple of hours, or whatever the hell it may be. Don't even get close to this machine. You know, and my buddies, they liked the ganja there, man. They had the munchies all the time. And let me tell you what I had, right? I was locked in. I would get in there, and one of my friends had gotten the Walkman, and it had the two ports, so you and somebody else could be listening to the Walkman. And Diver Down, man. Diver Down was the album that we were listening to. What a great album from Van Halen. 80 Van Halen was a hero to all of us, man. Rest in power, King. Best guitarist of our lifetime, absolutely. And sometimes the crew themselves, the crew working the hamburger stations, would have on the radio, and they would have on either KMET or KLOS. This is the days, of Fast Times in Ridgemont High. And our friends, we were a different breed, man. Even though we were in the inner city, you wanted it to be different, right? Like everybody else in East Los Angeles wanted to be a gangster, a cholo, and what have you, but not us. We wanted to be Spicoli. That's what we wanted to be, right? So, whenever we had time, this is our activity, or we'd go down to Santa Monica to the beach, let our hair grow, be rebellious, get earrings. I mean, that's what we wanted to do, man. We just want to be what they called back then surfers. And you just go out to the beach and hang out, man, and party at the beach. The laws were looser back then. The cops weren't, as stringent back then. So you could pretty much do whatever you want on the beach. I remember we used to bury beer bottles at the beach, man. But this was our spot, mostly on Saturdays, right? But, sometimes we'd get together during the week, man. But I just remember those were the days where, all our problems seemed to go away, right? Because we had money, we had gotten paid. And when I'm telling you we had money, we had like $20. That was money for us back then, right? We had $20, $30. And I remember getting this burrito when I really had the munchies, guys. This is the burrito I had. It was bean and cheese. And I would put, and I don't know what led me to this. I don't know what state of mind I was in at the time. I put a hamburger patty on a bean and cheese burrito, and I put pastrami in it, baby, and hot sauce. Man, that thing tasted like heaven, dude. Oh, yeah. And we would just munch and play and munch and play and munch. We'd get lit up first, right? And then we'd just go munch and play. Man, and all our problems seemed so far away, whatever problems we had. We were happy. That's the reason we have nostalgia for a lot of these arcade games. I'm not in a position, to have an arcade cabinet in my house anymore. I wouldn't have it. I don't have the room. The most I could ever do is get some sort of replica, but I don't like the minis, so I don't even try to buy that. It's just like something that would look like an arcade, right? And we talk about it all the time. Now, in private, we're much, much different men now, right? I'm in business. My two friends are in the manufacturing field. We're very different people today, right? One of my friends is a really religious family man now. He would never do any of those things ever again. You guys know me. I'm in the Philippines out here. We're still friends on Facebook. My other friend is, he always was a handsome dude. He looked like Ralph Macchio, believe it or not. This dude has that same thing where he still looks young as hell, right? And he takes advantage of it because now he's like taking all the steroids and stuff with the Michael Hearn, that kind of guy. That's what he looks like. His face is fucked up, right? Because he's old. He hasn't done any plastic surgery. But he's a bodybuilder, and he's like 2 years older than me. But we're all happy. We're all still alive. And we all still remember those days. I'm the only one, though, who still has video games. I'm the one who still brings back those memories. I'm the one who, when they see my collection, we talk about the old days, when we were, playing in the arcade. These guys are arcade players, believe it or not. They never, ever had a home console. It was always about the arcade. And man, what great days those were. When a video game, in an arcade could take our problems away. We'd sit there, man, eat our burgers, eat our burritos, get the munchies, play all day. That was heaven, man. And let me tell you, some days to this day, when I get stressed, except for the weed, that is heaven for me too. All right, humans, I just want to share that story with you. Man, I love Moon Patrol. To this day, I still play it. I have it on my Switch, and once in a while, man, I get a tear in my eye thinking of Eddie Van Halen, Diver Down, that great album, those good times with good friends. That's what life is all about. And it's almost a shame that kids today can't experience the same thing, because what a different world we live in. All right, humans, thank you for listening to me. Thank you for subscribing. Guys, I will catch you on the next one. Take care.
New videos every Monday and Sunday. Thank you for joining me on another episode of the Gen X Gamer. Remember to like and subscribe, click that notification bell, and remember, never ever be afraid to be happy. I'll catch you on the next one. Take care.